welcome to the Enterprise World magazine. Today we have with us Jaidin McCann, the visionary founder and CEO of Jasper Consultancy. Jaidin is redefining the future of human capital with her innovative approach to executive search and leadership development. Jasper Consultancy has made significant strides in connecting top tier executives with organizations worldwide, all while fostering a culture of collaboration, authenticity, and continuous learning. Join us as we delve into Jaidin's journey, explore her leadership philosophy, and also uncover how Jasper Consultancy is setting new standards in the industry. Don't miss this insightful conversation. Hello, Jaidin. Welcome.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's our pleasure. So, we'll get started talking about what exactly inspired you to start this company and also what has been your biggest challenge to leading it where it is today.
Oh gosh. Well, I would say what inspired me throughout my career, I had helped to found a multitude of teams, divisions, and companies for other people. Very much a builder. And I sat there and I thought, I might as well start one for myself, collecting, the skills and experiences I developed throughout my career in recruiting. And, one of the last companies I helped to build out was a recruiting firm where I heavily focused in executive search. And then the next one was an executive search firm. And so I thought, why not try it for myself? Um, the most difficult part, I would say, is learning the things that are outside of your area of expertise, right? As a founder, there's a big gap of the amount of time where you are your, accountant and finance team and sales and marketing and business development. And my background is in growing and leading teams, specifically within HR and talent acquisition. So I'm great there, love that aspect. But I had to dive in and really learn how to do all the other facets of the business.
Oh, that's excellent. So, as the CEO and also as the founder, what is your leadership philosophy and also how do you reflect it within the organization?
Great question. I would say, well, at least for me personally, I have a very democratic leadership style and I'm very transparent and authentic. I think you can always be your true self and show up and encourage others to show up as their true selves and know that they're really valued for who they are and their unique experiences. I think, I mean, culture building and it starts at the top and you set the tone for your employees. So I want them to feel comfortable making mistakes. I want them to feel comfortable coming to me and owning that, right? And how can we dive in together and fix that? I'm very democratic in the sense that for change management purposes, right? We build together, right? What are your ideas, right? This is what I'm thinking about doing. This is where I think we should go, but I would love to hear your guys' thoughts. And we build that plan out together. And then that way as well, when you go to implement a plan, you know exactly who's bought in and exactly who you need to go and do a little more change management work with to get them bought in. And it really drives everyone together toward that common goal and mission and values because we formulated them together.
Oh, that's superb. And Jaden, as you know that innovation is key in any sort of industry. So I really like to know that how do you balance the need to innovate and take risks, also with the need to maintain stability and profitability in the organization?
Yes, I'm innovative. That's what I love to do. And so I think well, and I would say honestly, they go hand in hand, right? You need to have a good, keen eye on the market and know where the market is going to know where to innovate to, right? So I think when you have a continuous feedback loop of where the market's at, what the people in your company are hearing on the ground day to day with candidates or clients or whoever it is that you're working with, that really, and that is building your profit, right? You're focused on building that out but then keeping your eyes and ears on the ground and saying, okay, where is everything headed? And then how can we solve for that? And how can we best set ourselves up to be agile, to be able to make those shifts when necessary and find new things? And I think setting up a continuous learning culture, a culture of continuous learning. High performers, they want to continue to learn and build and create and innovate, right? And they just have that personality. And so hiring them is one thing. Absolutely, we should be hiring them, but you also then need to help them continuously learn and build and innovate, right? Like you need to give them the opportunities to be able to do that. Otherwise, they leave somewhere else where they're getting that fulfillment. And so I would say definitely fostering that culture, because then those high performers, they're also one performing, right? It feeds that profit, feeds results and overall organizational success. But they also are doing the same and keeping an eye on the market and innovating and building and coming up with strategic solutions to problems. And it's, yeah, I think when you hire right and well and foster the right environments, it's easy to simultaneously do both.
Oh, that's amazing. And actually, my next question aligns to what you are currently saying about the team. So, how exactly do you identify and develop the talent within the organization? And also, like, what role do you see mentorship playing in all of this?
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, I've been a recruiter my entire life. So identifying talent, I've been a leader for years now. So mentoring talent and developing talent is really my strong suit. I don't know if there's a one size fits all secret. But what I will say is that I'm very big on organizational fit. I think, especially now in today's age, people are so afraid to trust in the interview process. They're afraid to pull the trigger and make a hire. They don't trust that hire once they come on, right? You need to earn that trust and respect. And for me, I really try and focus on building out the interview process so that you have that trust, but then also not just hiring somebody who fits the job description, right? Maybe I think right now people, because they're too afraid to trust, they hire exactly the person that they need, right? Like, in terms of they fit the job description exactly, they've been doing exactly this role in exactly this industry for the past 10 plus years. And essentially, that sounds great on paper, right? Then you don't have to train, you don't have to do any development for the role. But what happens there is that people aren't challenged. They've done it for the past few years. They're not learning anything. There's no growth there. And that's one of the main reasons people leave companies, is to continue to develop and grow, especially high performers who value continuous learning. So I definitely think, I say the 80/20 rule. There's so many 80/20 rules out there, but 80% hitting that job description, 20% of it should be a challenge where you feel like you're growing, you have to look stuff up, you need development, and taking the time to really develop them, because not only are they going to fully learn that role, but they're going to be able to grow. And you know that once they grow and get promoted into a new position, they're going to learn and take that on as well. And so I think, yeah, it's not a one size fits all, but I do think I very much do not say, here's the job description. I need this person to hit it exactly. But I take chances on people and say, hey, where are your areas you need to grow for this role? Where do you want to grow, right? Do those align? And and I'm intuitive, I would say. It's hard to explain. But when you do this for so long, you kind of get a feeling, right? Are they gonna fit cultural style wise, goal alignment wise, leadership style wise with the team and the personalities you have? I do leverage predictive index. So, you can put everyone in quadrants on what they're great at, and you can take a look and maybe people are really, really great at driving innovation and results. Maybe I have a bias for hiring toward those people. But what happens when you need to set process, right? And you need structure and you need, those things. Your goal alignment is over here, but all your people are over here, right? And so you now need somebody who may not be that personality fit you biasly hire toward, but somebody who actually is the personality style of this person, who also then can lead this team through process, right? Because those people, they're not big process detail orientation type people. So knowing these things about people and what personality styles fit with others, leadership styles fit with the team you have. I think it's complex, but in your brain, when you do it for so long, it's simple and it makes sense.
Oh, that's awesome. So, we would definitely love to know more about Jasper Consultancy. So, tell us about the company and also what are some of the unique services that the company specializes in?
Absolutely. Yes. Jasper Consultancy, our main service offering is executive search. We place directors all the way through C-suite and board members for Series A through Fortune 500 tech companies. We also offer, and this one is a little different than most, is the human capital consulting piece. That one, I think most firms just do executive search. Maybe they'll do, recruiting non-executives as an added service. But to me, where I find it invaluable is that human capital consulting piece. When you're dealing with leaders, you really want to be able to consult and say, hey, let's talk about how to motivate and boost your teams, right? Let's talk about the type of leader that you actually need. Maybe you need coaching on what leader is actually the right fit. Or when I work with startups, right? Do you have an interview process set up yet? Let me help you set that up, right? So we can build that trust and we can train and coach and develop there. CEOs, sometimes they're really great software engineers who invented really great products. But do you know how to do an offer negotiation and give an offer, right? Because at the executive level, it should be you giving it. We can, but we also want to help train and develop you to be able to give that in the future, right? So we don't have to be there. We can. I'd happily, hire all of your roles, but that way you have the ability, right? It's like teach a man to fish. We want to help them be successful without us. Um, and then thirdly, we just launched an interim and fractional division of the company where we place part-time executives into roles. And that has been such a fun adventure. And essentially, that's partly, the innovation and keeping an eye on the market in the day to day is, we were having a lot of sales conversations with startups who would come to us and say, hey, we need a CRO. And I'm like, you're a seed stage Series A company. No, you don't. Right. And I'd happily take your money and place one. I really do believe in what's doing best by others, right? That's somebody's dream and goal. Why would we not help them accomplish it to the best of our ability? So I'm very much like, hey, don't waste your equity. Don't waste your runway. You need someone to build out that, high level strategy, but it's not a full-time job right now. So on the flip side, with all the layoffs and hiring freezes that were just happening, people have been starting their own fractional practices. The fractional community is growing. And so being able to leverage that and put those together and really build that bridge to say, hey, we have clients with a need and we have candidates or new fractionals that want to leverage our network and our business development relationships. So it's been such a fun adventure. We're still growing that out, but definitely excited for that as well.
Oh, that's fantastic. So, technology plays a big role in consultancy and also currently in any any given industry. So, how has technology specifically helped you with all of the processes that you've made?
Oh gosh, immensely. There's so many tools and technologies, right? Obviously, we have a CRM to track all of our clients and our sales activity. We have tools to reach out to potential candidates in the recruiting side and on the sales side for clients. Those are, those automated messages. Really, though, where I find the best tool, I'm not gonna lie, is ChatGPT. I use that to build out frameworks, to build out contracts, job descriptions. Obviously, I add my own personal touch. I don't just create it and send it off, but I've leveraged it. Hey, what are the top 10 topics that C-level executives are looking up, right? What are some of their main concerns right now? And then I can say, hey, write me a blog post about, number 3 or number 5 on that list. And it will build it out. And of course, like I said, I add my own personal touches to it. I'm not just going to send it off, but blog posts, LinkedIn posts, all of those things, you can really build out your brand. And it's saved me a lot of money on marketing.
Oh, that's fabulous there. So, we've talked a lot about the company, so we'll shift our gears and we'll highlight your professional journey. So, please brief us about your professional background and also the journey that you've had so far.
I'd love to. Yes. I actually started my career in a weird place where I was basically an executive right out of college. I helped Hotel Windrow, loved Hotel Windrow. They needed someone to build out their HR department and be, their HR person. And they were a startup hotel being built from scratch. So I got to really build the entire HR department from the ground up, and I absolutely loved it. And when we went to staff, 200 members for the hotel, I fell in love with recruiting. I was like, where can I go and just do this? And so I worked for a few recruiting agencies, specialized in technology. I loved that too. But I missed being in the room, right? I missed the building of something from scratch. I missed being a part of the overall organizational strategy and really having, my hand in the creation and in the executive room where the strategy is built. And so I started Jasper Consultancy actually originally as an LLC side project where I built HR and talent acquisition teams from scratch because that's what I knew how to do really well. And I loved that. And then one day I got an offer from Anders Sundquist. He's the CEO of Flawless, and I love Flawless too. And it worked really well because he was building a recruiting agency from scratch. And he's like, hey, you build from scratch and you recruit. Do you want to come, help build this out over here? And that grew from 7 to 200 employees in 2 years, and they were acquired. And my VP said, "Hey, will you come help me build out my executive search firm?" And so went over there, and that's when I finally was like, "Hey, why don't I do this for myself?" Right? I've loved doing it for other people, but I want to try it for myself, and here we are today.
Oh, that's excellent. So, what are some of the career highlights? What are some of the recognitions and awards that you've received throughout the journey, or some of your proudest milestones that you've had? So, please share all of those moments with us.
There's so many. You know, I mean, there's obvious ones, right? Like, yes, it was really cool in my career to win top 100 for innovators and entrepreneurs and to be featured in like Fox and NBC and ABC and all these cool things. But what I would really say, like my key moments that I go back to in my career are the leadership opportunities, right? Is when you mentor somebody, when you get them through their discomfort, right? There's no growth without discomfort. And so when you are working with someone and they're really uncomfortable and you can tell that they're so close and they're going to grow, and you really help them through that, and their face lights up when they're on the other side, right? And they grow into themselves and into better professionals. And I would say the moments like that when you ask that question are what stick out to me the most. And I can, name them all, but those are at least the little pictures that pop into my head.
Oh, that's great. So Jaden, you are also this leader, CEO, founder, entrepreneur. So, what do you think are some of the key responsibilities of an entrepreneur, or you could just highlight some of the personal qualities that our entrepreneur should possess?
Yeah, honestly, I love this question. Entrepreneurs are a different breed. They really are, honestly. And I love corporate America. I love consulting for corporate America. But everyone is everyone's out to help each other. There's enough piece of the pie to go around, right? And so I think as an entrepreneur, you both leverage that, but you also need to be that simultaneously, right? And we all help each other grow. It's not as competitive and cutthroat where we're all competing against each other. We're actually in this environment and these networking groups and communities on how do we all help each other. And I think you have to have that mentality. If you don't, I don't think you're gonna get the help in the community that you need around you to be able to help you. It's grit. It's grit. It's waking up some days and wanting to pull your hair out and walk away and quit, and knowing that tomorrow you're gonna come back and have a high and a big win and love it again. And it's the ability to ride that roller coaster. It's resilience. And I think honestly, most reason probably businesses fail is because you we give up, right? It's we can't handle the roller coaster anymore, and we see it out and we take it, and you just got to keep riding that roller coaster. And I think if people stuck to it more, they may find themselves more successful than they thought. But yeah, I would definitely, it's a community mentality, a helping everyone grow and succeed mentality, resilience, grit. Oh gosh, it's putting in work. I think people forget, right? They start companies saying, oh, well, I'll have financial freedom, I'll be the owner and it'll make me money. That's years down the road, right? It's hard work and a grind, and you will work more hours than your 40-hour a week corporate America job. I think some people are surprised by that, but you absolutely do. But if you have a passion for this, if it's something, a project that you just can't get out of your head, you know it needs to happen, you feel really called and you're passionate about it. To me, at least, I would much rather work 70 hours a week and doing something that I really, really love because it doesn't feel like work. And I am a workaholic like that, but it's because I have a passion for what I do. I absolutely love what I do every day. And if you have something like that as a founder, as an entrepreneur, don't fight it. Absolutely go straight into it. And because the world needs it, and you had that calling for a reason.
Oh, that's such a wonderful answer, and thank you for keeping it so realistic. I think the viewers would love it. So, like Jaden, you are multi-talented. You are the leader, the CEO, the visionary founder. So how do you sort of balance, strike a work-life balance with all of the roles and juggling all of this duties along with it? So how do you strike a work-life balance? Is there a way you can do it?
Yes. Actually, I will say yes. I'm very impressed with my work-life balance. Like you said, right? I'm acting as CEO now. I haven't hired in a partner for another division yet, so I'm a partner over that division within this company. I also am currently founding another company with a team and a board of directors, and we're founding an entire other company that'll feed this company and building out a giant ecosystem. So I have a lot going on, definitely busy. But what I will say is that I I I do really condensed work. So, I work from about 9 to 4 and I get back-to-back meetings, right? Getting so much done, driving things. It's kind of like hit workouts for business. Just high intensity, go, go, go. But then you get to check out and you get to live your life. Another thing I found really helpful is if I put a block in there for lunch and actually leave my house and go get food somewhere and then come back. Typically, my day is stacked with back-to-back meetings, so I cannot do that. But on days that I can, absolutely stepping away and coming back, giving yourself that break. Um, but setting clear boundaries and say, yes, you can send an email back from your phone or check Slack right from your phone if someone can call you, something's urgent. But I very much get out of the house, do other things, set boundaries, and say, okay, at this time, I'm shutting my computer and I'm walking away. And if anybody needs me, I'll happily take calls, or respond back. But I can do that out at dinner or out with friends, right? And still have that life.
Oh, that's lovely. So, Jaden, with Jasper Consultancy, what is sort of your vision in terms of what is the 5 year or 10 year plan? Or maybe you could just explain to us the short-term goals and the long-term goals that you are, hitting to mark this year.
Yes. Oh gosh. Um, Well, I will say I'm not out to be the next Corn Fairy, right? Like one of the largest executive search firms in the world. I very much want this to be a boutique firm. I run lean, highly efficient, and effective teams. And I mean, it just lowers cost for me, but also they make more money that way, especially, with their commission structure. So I want to make sure I'm aware of what their bandwidths are and that they feel comfortable telling me that they're hitting their bandwidth so I can hire, right? But until then, I want to really hit full productivity and give them the most amount of money and projects as possible before doing so. And so what I would say is short-term goals is to really grow revenue, right? Obviously, so we can then bring in more leaders. Longer-term goals or sticking to short-term goals, I did just hire a partner, super excited about that, over my interim and fractional division. But I don't have them for my executive search and human capital consulting division yet. And so I'm simultaneously running those. I very much believe leaders should get out of the business and hire in people that are far better and more talented than I am. And so I do intend to do that. So growing revenue to then hire in those key players and having them build those out, right? Giving them the autonomy to really own that division of the company. And then eventually placing myself, right? So I can be a true owner instead of an operator.
Oh, that's ambitious, and I wish you all the best for achieving all of these goals. So, Jaden, this brings me to the last question. What is that one piece of advice that you'd like to give to other fellow women entrepreneurs, or maybe just anybody starting in general in this industry?
Oh gosh. Women entrepreneurs, be assertive. You can absolutely humbly brag about yourself. Some people say, if not you, no one else will, but other people brag about other people in the startup environment. So hopefully, we all hype each other up, give each other referrals, but you have to be assertive. You cannot let people walk all over you, and they will try. They may not even realize that they do it, but there's a nice way to be assertive, right? I think it's really hard as a woman to stand your ground and push back, but not come off. I just, I definitely there's a way to do that. There's tactful honesty. There are ways to humbly brag about yourself. And so really invest in finding that, because once you have that and you don't let people walk all over you and push you around, but you maintain that rapport and that respect, right? And once you have that, I think you're going to see yourself skyrocket, and the world is your oyster. You can do so many things. And I think I see a lot of women hold themselves back, and that's what I don't want to see, right? Is everyone has so much potential. And so find what you're really great at, what you love to do, the mix between the two of those, and really truly know and understand yourself and dive into those, and you'll go so far.
Oh, that's well said. And I just love your feminine entrepreneur energy out there. So thank you for inspiring other viewers right there. So, Jaden, this brings us to the end of the interview, but is there anything that you'd like to add?
No, I mean, thank you so much for having me. It's been such a pleasure, and I'm honored. So I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you so much for your time, and I wish you all the best for your future as well. And thank you for all of the thoughtful answers and responses that you have given. And I'm great. We've had a lovely conversation throughout.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a great day ahead.